Hello, welcome to another Today's Decay, where we celebrate births and beginnings of everything important since the dawn of time. It is April 12th, all day long. And on this day in 1885, Robert Delaunay was born? I don't know. I'm very, very bad at French, and I feel like that's a French last name. So you're supposed to kind of have this sneer thing and cut off the last letter or two, just to get yourself further along in your sentence, I suppose. Yeah. Anyway, he was a artist during the 19 teens and 20s, working with cubic or Orphic cubism, I think is the term. Really interesting use of colors. They came out of the Fauvist movement, I suppose, perhaps. And he's probably most famous for a whole bunch of renditions of the Eiffel Tower, but really great work and well worth checking out. Robert Delaunay. Oh, here's another really great one. Their Testament of Dr. Mabuse, premiered on this day, 1933. This is Fritz Lang's last movie he made in Germany. The story goes, as I heard it, was Metropolis was Adolf Hitler's favorite movie. They might have referenced his Frau in the Moon rocket schematics to make V2 rockets, possibly. And he really wanted Fritz Lang to be the head propaganda minister for the Nazis. I mean, remember, this is 1933, right? So they're just really coming to power. And the story goes that he was made the offer. He said, "Thank you so much for considering me." I don't know if he gave an answer or said, let me sleep on it. But he went home, packed a bag, and left in the middle of the night. Went to England and then eventually America, leaving his wife in Germany, Thea von Harborough, because she was a Nazi supporter. She also wrote the Frau, the Woman in the Moon, as well as Metropolis, Spies, a bunch of his films she wrote. I don't recall if she was involved with the literary background for the Testament of Dr. Mabuse, but maybe. This one's wonderful. It really is an overlooked movie from a weird horror standpoint. Really psychedelic in some ways. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen Dr. Mabuse, The Gambler, the 1922 one or whatever that's from exactly. I'd really like to. I bet it's great. I mean, what did he do that was bad? I can't think of anything. Certainly not at this point. It's all hits, no misses. And definitely no misses because he left the misses in Nazi Germany. Right? All right. Moving right along. 1953, on this day, Tony James was born, of Generation X and Sig Sig Sputnik fame. I have a really great Tony James story. I was on my way to see Robert Ross's art exhibit way in the West Village, really close to the water. And lo and behold, there was Addie from the Relics just standing there on the corner looking up. And I could hear a band echoing down the street, as if it was just somebody's kids in an expensive high-rise in the West Village playing live music. Because you could hear it was drums. This wasn't from a stereo or something, right? And she was like, Mike, do you know what we're listening to? And I was like, well, it sounds like somebody covering the Sex Pistols, yeah. She's like, no, it's Generation Sex. What? Generation Sex being a combo platter of Paul Cook, Steve Jones, Billy Idol, and Tony James doing, for the first time, Generation X songs together, Tony James and Billy Idol, in, I don't know, a very, very long time. Backed up by members of the Sex Pistols and doing some Sex Pistols songs as well. But they've never played official shows that you could buy tickets for. They at that point, I think, played one pre-show in Los Angeles, maybe, or something like that. But it was like announced the day of, like, be here now or forget it. And then there was this, where they were doing a sound check for a private Bergdorf Goodman event in the West Village on just some random day. So, and there was like no soundproofing because it was like in a Bergdorf Goodman store, like on the second floor of like their store. So you could hear it plain as day from just like over there, right? Anyway, we went to the art gallery, had some drinks, and then stood outside and desperately tried to get in for the whole day. Eventually, Paul Cook and Tony James came out, and I got to meet them. They were really nice, and the whole thing was just so surreal. And I was like, can I please get in? And they're like, yeah, just stick around outside. We'll try to get you in. Well, one thing led to another. We all wound up, I called a bunch of friends, and like a bunch of people came over, and we just were like standing there waiting and waiting and waiting. Because this was like 2 p.m, and the thing was like at, evening time. One thing led to another. We wound up going to this really great Italian restaurant. And sometime in that window, Addie, who had not left that spot all day, Steve Jones came out and welcomed her right in. And when we came back from Italian food, she was inside, and we were outside, and we never got inside, and we kept trying, and it just never worked. But we did get to spend the whole night listening in the cold to Tony James and Billy Idol do Generation X songs for the first time in a generation or more. Tragically wonderful. Yeah, it was really good. Yeah. What else? Hideous Sun Demon premiered on this day, 1959. John Agar. Really low budget, but wonderful stuff. In 1965, on this day, Ant Thomas, the drummer of Demented or Go and Exit Wounds, was born. I interviewed him in the mid-90s on my parents' answering machine tape for Friendzine, which then eventually went up in my zine. And I remember it was a insane amount of money because I didn't know that international calls cost a lot of money, and I found out right then and there they do. And then we booked Demented or Go in 2000, and I'd seen him because I think the Exit Wounds played the after show or the overflow show in London when I went there in 97 or 98 or whatever. So yeah, anyway, Ant Thomas today. It's a good day for Demented. There you go. April 12th, all day from me to you. Till tomorrow. Goodbye.